Cape Verde, another lesser-known African country, is sure to leave a lasting impression once you get to know it. Stick with me to learn why Portuguese is spoken in the country, how people live there, and some of their most intriguing traditions. But first, hit the like button and subscribe with the notification bell turned on, so we can see you again and you won't miss more videos like this. Number 1. Cape Verde is an island nation located in the central Atlantic Ocean, about 600 kilometers off the western coast of Africa. It was an uninhabited territory until discovered and colonized by the Portuguese in the 15th century. The island's name originates from the Cape Verde Peninsula in West Africa. In the past, it was a center for the African slave trade and a coal resupply stop for whaling and transatlantic navigation. Slavery was abolished on the island in 1876, and the territory remained under Portuguese control until 1975. Today, 9 out of 10 islands in the archipelago are inhabited. The combined size of all the islands is just over 4,000 square kilometers. Number 2. In 1462, 6 years after Portuguese sailors discovered the islands, a permanent Portuguese settlement was founded in the town of Ribeira Grande, now known as Cidade Velha, which is located south of Santiago Island and was the first European colonial outpost in the tropics. Number 3. In 1951, Cape Verde's status changed from a Portuguese colony to an overseas province, and in 1961, its inhabitants became full-fledged Portuguese citizens. Number 4. In 1956, a movement led by the African Party for the Independence of Guinea-Bissau and Cape Verde began. This party, founded by Amilcar Cabral, operated underground. Cabral and a group of Cape Verdeans and Guineans demanded improvements in economic, social, and political conditions. Later, the party formed the basis of the independence movement for both nations. Number 5. Following the 1974 coup d'etat in Portugal, the nation began to relinquish its colonial empire, and the Cape Verde Islands gained their independence on July 5, 1975. Number 6. Cape Verde and Guinea-Bissau shared a flag and national anthem, and their president, Luís de Almeida Cabral, was Cape Verdean. They remained united until a military coup in Guinea-Bissau overthrew Cabral in 1980, causing deep resentment in Cape Verde and leading to the separation of the two territories. Number 7. Santo Antão is the second largest island in the region and is very popular among hikers, as it provides the perfect terrain to test explorers' endurance and skills on a vertical island with canyons and valleys. Number 8. Pico de Fogo is the highest peak in Cape Verde, rising to 2,829 meters above sea level. It emerges from an ancient crater known as Chá de Caldeiras, which formed when about 300 kilometers of the island collapsed and slid into the sea. This peak last erupted in 2014. Number 9. Most Cape Verdeans have both African and Portuguese backgrounds, and the country's expatriate population is larger than the national population due to the repeated droughts experienced during the mid-20th century, which led to mass emigration of the local population to the United States, Europe, other African countries, and South America. Number 10. The archipelago has a small museum dedicated to preserving the memory of social fighter Amilcar Cabral, leader of the independence movement in Cape Verde and Guinea-Bissau, and half-brother of the nation's first president. Amilcar was assassinated in 1973. Number 11. Corn is the staple food in this country, and cachupa is the national dish, consisting of a slow-cooked stew with 2 types of corn, 3 or 4 varieties of beans, and fish or meat. Number 12. The islands are home to over 100 bird species, including Alexander's swift, the purple heron, the Rezo lark, the Cape Verde warbler, the lake sparrow, and the Cape Verde shearwater. Number 13. There are 2 classifications for the Cape Verde Islands, Windward and Leeward. The Windward Islands are Santo Antão, São Vicente, Santa Lucia, São Nicolau, Sal, and Boa Vista. The Leeward Islands are Maio, Santiago, Fogo, and Brava. Number 14. The archipelago is the 3rd largest loggerhead turtle nesting site between June and February. Capturing them is illegal, as they are an endangered species. Number 15. Only between 10 and 11% of the island's land is suitable for agriculture, so 90% of all food consumed in Cape Verde is imported. Number 16. Sal, one of the windward islands of the archipelago, attracts more tourists than any of the other islands. It is famous for its beautiful beach that stretches along 8 kilometers of coastline. Number 17. Cape Verde is one of the largest per capita recipients of aid in the world, as various projects for expanding its port and airport capacities and modernizing its fish processing industry are funded by the European Union and the World Bank. Number 18. Thanks to the crystal clear waters and natural winds, the coast surrounding Cape Verde is one of the best places in the world for windsurfing, kite surfing, and diving. Number 19. Santo Antão Island is one of the most picturesque islands in the archipelago and is ideal for hiking, with its mountains, valleys, and forests offering various types of trails and different levels of difficulty. Number 20. The Pedro Lume crater is a large volcanic crater that is currently filled with salt water, making it a preferred destination for those seeking very warm waters to swim in. This place has a higher mineral content than the Dead Sea, so you'll automatically float in the water. Number 21. Cape Verde was the first place Charles Darwin visited on his journey aboard the HMS Beagle, the ship on which Darwin circumnavigated the world from December 27, 1831 to October 2, 1836. Number 22. The wide variety of animal and plant species Darwin saw on the voyage led him to develop his famous theory of evolution by natural selection. Although the Beagle had arrived at Tenerife early, it made its first landing in Praia, the volcanic island of Santiago, on January 16, 1832. Number 23. Darwin spent 3 weeks in Cape Verde and was fascinated by the diversity of volcanic and sandy landscape. It was precisely in this region where he realized his own abilities in geology. Another aspect that amazed Darwin about Cape Verde was the abundance of oranges, bananas, and tamarinds, fruits that were a luxury in the United Kingdom at that time. Number 24. The Cape Verde escudo became the country's currency in 1914 when it replaced the Cape Verde real. Currently, the Cape Verde escudo is pegged to the euro, and interestingly, the dollar symbol is used instead of the decimal point, so to write 10 escudos, one should put 10, $00. Number 25. Since the late 16th century, the islands have been plagued by disastrous droughts and famines. In addition, the country has very few natural resources and suffers from scarce rainfall and limited fresh water. The droughts of the first half of the 20th century caused thousands of Cape Verdeans to die from starvation as a result of famine. Number 26. According to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, Cape Verde is one of the countries most vulnerable to climate change, with low adaptive capacity. Prediction models suggest that temperature increases of 4 degrees Celsius and decreases in rainfall of up to 20% can be expected by 2100. Number 27. Portuguese is the only official language of Cape Verde and is used in the press, media, higher education, the judicial system, and public services. However, virtually all Cape Verdeans speak Cape Verdean Creole, or Crioulo, a Portuguese-based language with African influences. Number 28. Although they have participated in the Summer Olympics since 1996, Cape Verde has never won a medal. They have never participated in the Winter Olympics. Number 29. The only site on the UNESCO World Heritage List located in Cape Verde is Cidade Velha, the historic center of Ribeira Grande. This city was a port and stopover for 2 historic navigators, Vasco da Gama on his route to India in 1497 and Christopher Columbus in 1498, when he set out on his 3rd voyage to America. Number 30. The gray long-eared bat is the only native mammal in Cape Verde and represents about 20% of the country's mammal population. This bat, known for its peculiar long ears, has lived there since before people inhabited the islands. Number 31. Grogue is the national liquor of the region, made entirely from sugarcane and has an alcohol content of over 40%. Its taste is similar to rum and is usually served neat, but can also be used for cocktails. Number 32. As there are no railway cars in Cape Verde, most transportation in the country is carried out by air or road. Number 33. It is estimated that there is one goat for every 2 people in the region, due to the Portuguese bringing these animals with them when they arrived. Goats have lived on the islands ever since and are very important to farmers because they produce milk. Number 34. In this country, it is considered rude to eat in public without sharing the food, so most Cape Verdeans make sure to have enough food to share with everyone around them. Number 35. The flag of Cape Verde consists of 2 horizontal white stripes above and below a horizontal red stripe on the lower half of a blue field. A circle of 10 gold stars is centered around the red stripe and represents the 10 main islands. Number 36. Brava is a small island known as the Garden Island of Cape Verde because of its many tropical plants and flowers. There are no beaches on the island, only cliffs, and it can be visited for hiking in its mountains. Number 37. Italian dictator Benito Mussolini bought the rights to build an airport in Sal, Cape Verde, because he needed to refuel his plane on flights between Europe and South America. Portugal bought the airport in 1945. Number 38. Tunnels were opened in the Pedra de Lume crater to facilitate the transportation of salt extracted from the area. In 1919, a tram was built with the purpose of transporting the salt to the port. Number 39. The largest port in the islands is located in Mindelo on São Vicente. This deep-water port can accommodate sizable vessels and has been used as a service station since the 19th century. Number 40. Soil loss through erosion is a very serious problem facing Cape Verde. Since independence, a national campaign to prevent erosion has been carried out, and reforestation has been promoted. Number 41. Among the island's inhabitants is an African minority that includes the Fulani, Balante, and Maniaco peoples. A small European origin population includes Portuguese descendants, as well as Italians, French, and English. Number 42. There is also a considerable number of Sephardic Jewish descendants who were expelled from the Iberian Peninsula between the 15th and 16th centuries during the Inquisition, as well as other groups of Jewish merchants who arrived in the 19th century from Morocco. Number 43. The majority of the population is Roman Catholic, and in practice, Catholicism is enriched with African elements. The celebration of holy days, for example, may be accompanied by drums, processions, masks, and African-style dances. Number 44. The country overall relies on imported petroleum fuel, and at the local level, most domestic energy needs are met with the use of firewood, although this poses a threat to the environment. As a result, renewable energy sources have been sought to provide resources and cause less impact. Number 45. There are only a few small-scale industries in Cape Verde, which include sewing, pottery, mining, wood, beverages, and pharmaceuticals. In some areas, there are also tuna canning operations and frozen seafood processing companies, such as lobster. Number 46. As Cape Verde depends on imported food, its main imports include cereals, fruits, and vegetables. Fuels and construction materials are also imported. Portugal and Spain are its main trading partners, but they also maintain ties with the Netherlands and the United States. Number 47. The cultural blend that forms Cape Verde's artistic tradition is notable in the richness of its oral traditions, which includes narratives known as Suentos de Noho Lobo, featuring the characters Tilobo and Chibinho, who have their counterparts in West African folklore. Number 48. African musical traditions are reborn in Cape Verde as batuco, a word derived from Portuguese meaning to beat. This genre features various rhythms, call-and-response performances by a group of women. Number 49. Cesaria Evora was one of Cape Verde's most popular musicians and is famous both in the islands and abroad for her mornas and coladeras, 2 types of dance. Number 50. Since the early 1990s, Cape Verde has been a stable representative democracy and has remained one of the most developed democratic countries in Africa. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe with the notification bell turned on so we can see you back here and you won't miss any of our videos. In this Iceland video, you can continue learning about one of the strangest countries in the world.